Recently, This Is America and the World traveled to the Sultanate of Oman. Oman, which has developed into a vibrant and progressive country in just the past 40 years, has attracted little attention from the Western media. Oman's neighbors include Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Yemen, and it lies across the Persian Gulf from Iran and Pakistan. With the vision of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Saeed Al Saeed, Oman shows itself to be a country grounded in its traditions and culture, vital to the region, and quietly engaged in the complex workings of the modern world. Oman, a successful country, is a country of natural beauty, warm and welcoming people, and a foreign policy based on listening and friendship. On this program, we'll talk with Oman's ambassador to the United States to learn about this peaceful and friendly country. We'll also talk with the minister responsible for foreign affairs about the pillars of Oman's foreign policy and its historic relationship with the United States. This is America is brought to you by the National Education Association, the nation's largest advocate for children and public education. The Republic of Kazakhstan in the heart of Eurasia, a rich history, a culture of hospitality, and a future of development and growth. The U.S.-China Education Trust and the F.Y. Chang Foundation. The League of Arab States, representing 350 million people in 22 member countries. The Rotendaro Family Trust. The Embassy Series, uniting people through musical diplomacy, presenting international artists in diplomatic settings. What would surprise Americans to know about Oman?
Well, the thing is, Oman is what you Americans say is a well-kept secret. People are pleasantly surprised from the minute they land here in Muscat to the time they leave Oman. The hospitality, how big the country is, how friendly the people are, and we have the diversity of both the culture and the modernity. Ah. So we have both the two worlds. We have been able to maintain our culture here in Oman, the way the Omani people are, and being advanced has not changed our way of living. We're still the same Omani people we were centuries ago. So being modern has not changed our way of life.
Is there a clash, however, between trying to retain a tradition, and now we have technology, we have globalization, we have social media? How about the young people? How do they feel?
Dennis, this is your second time in Oman.
Yes.
And I'm sure you have noticed that we are able to balance both the two, the modernity, the advancement. A number of our students are educated abroad. Mm-hmm. We have all the latest technologies here in Oman, and yet we're able to balance both the two. You must have seen it yourself. You've been to the Muscat Festival. You've seen the young Omanis. You've interacted with the young Omanis. And we were able to balance both the two, which is the same as when I go to Washington. Of course, you're aware that when I first arrived in Washington, I was given the agenda of negotiating the free trade between Oman and the United States. And being the first Arab woman ambassador to the United States, it kind of opened doors for me, but at the same time, it surprised a lot of congressmen and women that an Omani woman could speak English and at the same time being modern and maintain my tradition, my Omani tradition.
Let's follow that thread just a little bit. If we were back in the States, people would say, how are women treated in Oman?
Actually, we were very lucky with the leadership of His Majesty, the Sultan, that we have the same rights as the men here in Oman, which many people are not aware of that. As long as you're professional and you have the qualification, there is no distinction between a man and a woman. When I first arrived in the United States and I was in New York, I was surprised that in corporate United States up to today, women do not have the same right as men. In fact, the salaries that the women get in the United States, in the corporate world I'm talking about, is not the same as men. While here in Oman, as long as you're doing the same job as a man, you get paid the same as a man.
So there's no distinction between gender?
No, there is no distinction. As long as you are qualified and professional, there is no distinction between a man and a woman.
Tell the folks back home some characteristics of Omani people. If you put all Omanis together and you said, okay, this is one person, what would be the characteristics?
I would say we are very gentle, we're very polite, we're very courteous, and we're very generous. And I'm sure you've noticed that from the minute you landed at the airport, at the SIP International Airport, how you were welcomed. And of course, you've been here for a couple of days right now. You should be in a position to tell me what sort of reception you received.
Well, I say the warmth and hospitality of the Omani people is just absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
And what I sense is a lack of stress or a lack of tension. It just seems to kind of flow rather nicely. I especially perceive that at the festival. People having a good time, just relaxing.
Absolutely, because we don't have any of the tensions that we have to compete. We are very satisfied with what we have. Oman, 42 years ago, is not the Oman of today. Whatever you see as you drive around Muscat has been built in the last 42 years. When His Majesty took over in 1970, we had only 2 schools for boys, about I think 15 kilometers of paved road. So now we have paved roads, electricity and water all over the Sultanate of Oman. When His Majesty took over, in one of his first speeches, he said that he's going to have electricity and water in every village in the Sultanate. Also, in one of his speeches, he had said that girls and women are not far from his mind, his sight, and we're going to get the same right as men. That was one of his first speeches. He had promised us this. And
education is important. And from those couple of schools way back when, what does it look like today?
We have, I'm not sure of the exact statistics, but I think we have about 1,700 schools. And of course, we have one main university, which is the Sultanate Qaboos University, the government university. We have a number of private universities. We have the technical colleges, training colleges. So education is a must for all. Education, I'm sure you're aware or you've been informed about education and health is free for all Omanis here. So education up to secondary level, and then of course you have to compete to get to university. You have to qualify to get to the university. But the government university is free for all.
So as you look at it, under the rule of the Sultan, Sultan Qaboos, His Majesty, the country has really grown and changed, huh?
Absolutely. We have moved from the 18th century to the 21st century in these 42 years.
Whoa. Yeah, and so well respected. And you said right at the beginning, best kept secret. I use this phrase. You might choose not to use this phrase, but I say Oman, people know the United Arab Emirates. They know Saudi Arabia. They even know Yemen from newscasts. Qatar, they know. But Oman flies under the radar.
Absolutely. We're very low-profile people.
Yeah.
We don't go about shouting our achievements.
Yes, it's
so when you arrive here, you have to see this for yourself.
I was thinking about tourism, and which I gathered that the pillars of the economy here would be some oil, fishing, agriculture, tourism. Yeah. But because of the Arab Spring, it would be hard-pressed to get people to come to the Arab world, huh?
What would a tourist want? We have the sea, we have the sun, we have the mountains, we have the culture. It's all there for you. And we have the facilities for a modern person. Mm-hmm. So in a nutshell, whatever you're looking for, it is there in Oman.
Aha. What's the population of Oman?
We're roughly about 3 million people.
And what do the people do here?
It depends what your interest is. Like I mentioned earlier on, if when you say what are the people doing, you're talking
like working.
Working. Okay, we have the private sector, we have the oil company, and we have, of course, the government. So various sorts of job. We have we have engineers, we have people doing in marketing, we have, of course, in the educational side. So it all depends what you're qualified for.
Is a family important? Well, that's important in the Arab
That's
world, isn't it?
That's part of our tradition and our culture. Family comes first here in Oman.
How do the Omani people feel about Americans?
We love the American people. When I first landed in Washington as the nominee for the ambassadorship, it was during the previous administration, which was the Republican administration, and now this is the second term of President Obama, which is a Democratic administration. We've always maintained excellent relationship. Omani people love the Americans, and we welcome Americans to come and explore more our country. Actually, we welcome everybody to come to Oman and see and enjoy our way of life. People are not aware of our region. They should know that we are peace-loving people. We are very friendly people. We would like to maintain our culture, and so as I mentioned earlier on, our policy is to maintain good relationship with everybody. So this is one of the things they should know, that we are very warm, peace-loving, generous, and welcoming people.
Your Excellency, thank you for meeting with us. What are the pillars of the foreign policy of Oman?
Making friends and friends and friends, and using tools of dialogue and dialogue and dialogue.
Peaceful country, huh?
Very peaceful.
And friendship with other countries.
With all nations around the globe.
And not getting involved in other people's business, huh?
Not at all.
That's refreshing to hear, huh?
We complain that Oman is not much on the media. And the people who are working in the media says that you don't have any exciting situations.
Yes.
So we are not on the media. So we say, okay, if that is the excuse, we would like to be that way. We don't want to be described as a place of crisis, problem, so the media will follow this. That is not our way of beliefs. We do a lot of politics, we do a lot of interactions with many nations, but we do use the quiet portfolio.
Yemen is next door.
That's right.
That is an area which is very chaotic right now. Does that concern Oman?
Well, it's a matter of concern. But we understand why this chaotic is taking place there.
Why?
Because number of leaders have apply sort of policy which does not really interact with the tradition of the nations. Yemen is an old Arab nations. Yemen, as believe, many of the Arab countries have received immigration from the deep history. But Yemen remains as a tribal type of society. Now, when you bring democracy, and when you bring political parties to replace the tribal system, indeed that will create a clash. That clash will take time before really it's settled. And Yemen is not a country who political party will win the situations. The tribal in Yemen is very, very deep.
What I was thinking of maybe the United States' policy, when we look at the Arab world, there's cultures that we don't understand that cause, in the end, more problems than maybe we had hoped at the beginning.
That's exactly true.
Yes?
Yes. When the United States went to Iraq, I think they were misled. They were very easy to accept the notion of some Iraqis who wants them to go and overthrow the government without calculating what is the day after. The day after, now we have seen.
Yes. Trouble.
Trouble and trouble.
Big trouble.
Yes.
How will it play out in Afghanistan?
Afghanistan, it's a story by itself. If we read the history of Afghanistan, Afghanistan cannot be ruled by a central administration because there are different tribal systems there. The British were fought bitter in the old days. And they came with the idea that all those tribes should be forming a monarchy. And they brought one of the leaders and they named him a king there. But that cannot be repeated today.
You can't take a Western style of democracy and force it into these countries that
the soil will not accept it. I mean, like the body. If you inserted something strange in the body will reject it.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's exactly the same thing.
So what do you see as the future for the area? What do you see as the future in some of these Arab League countries that are struggling?
Well, they will struggle and cause themselves a lot of, frictions and so on. When they become tired, they will sit together and agree.
When they become tired. Yes. Is that in our lifetime?
Could be.
President Obama and Secretary Kerry now are going to Israel, Palestine, Jordan. Is there hope there for peace?
Well, hope is always there. Hope is always there. And I think both sides understand each other clearly. Now, what is just to bridge between the objectives and the Palestinians and the Israelis? They both accepted two-state solutions. But then the devil is in the details. And there is still level of distrust between the two sides. And I think there is a chance, if not resolving this problem one forever, at least they will start with something which make both sides strengthening the hope that there will be a final solution.
Do you think that both sides there are now sick and tired of being sick and tired, or not yet?
On the level of the people, yes, but on the level of politicians, no.
If you had to give an overview of Oman to the people in America or around the world, our viewers, what would you say?
Well, I would say the relationship between Oman and the United States is a long history. And there are a number of issues which has been created as a role in the United States because of Oman. For instance, the law which is prevent the president and the high official not accepting from foreign representative or foreign rulers accepting any present or any gift more than $100. That was because of Oman. Because in the 1883, I think, the Sultan of Oman have sent to the President of the United States at the time 2 Arabian horses.
2 Arabian horses?
Right. They were moved from New York by train to Washington. And there were a debate in the Congress whether should the president accept those or not. The outcome of the debate have decided to give 1 horse to the president. The other horse should go to the Treasury. and the price of the horse, because the Treasury, which is have sold it by $100, $100. So that $100 was because of this problem, this case, which has been take place in in Washington because of the Omani Arabian horses was sent to there. And in exchange, the President of the United States have sent 2 rifles of Winchester
Yes,
to
rifles.
the Sultan.
Do you think that was a fair trade?
But that time, it's a great trade.
It was a good trade?
Because of that time, yes. And nowadays, trade is something which has taken a lot of ways and means. And the trade with us today is fairly good. We have a free trade agreement with the United States. We are one of the 2 in the GCC countries who has this privilege of having this. And the trade between Oman and the United States is growing.
Your neighborhood directly is Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, and Yemen, and then the sea, huh?
And then the sea.
The location of Oman is very strategic, huh?
That's indeed by the history and by the today and by the tomorrow as well.
What would you say Americans should know about Oman?
Well, there are 2 things. One is American as a people and Oman as a people, and American as institutions and Oman as institutions. We here in Oman, we know little about what is the United States and the surrounding of the United States. We know little about the culture of the people of the United States and what they like, what they don't like. I assume also is the same thing for the other side. The American, they don't understand our cultures, or what is good, what's not good, it suits us, but it's not suiting United States people when they live here. What is our views, what is our attitude as it stands today. The United States knows a little about our surrounding area, where we know a lot. So what I think it's good for both sides, the United States as a super country, a superpower countries in the world, needs the cooperation of all nations in order to make sure that this power of today are all work together in order to create an environment of development for the future.
Does it frustrate you that people in America don't know about this part of the world?
No, this is natural.
Why do you say natural?
Because of different culture, different background, different history, big destinations in the past. So, and because of the world today all on the fast track.
Yeah.
So it doesn't frustrate me. But those who are in the White House or State Department or other institution in the Congress, they should, accept the fact that sometime, but many times, they don't understand how we think.
What would you have me take back to the United States that you want people in America to know?
The average American people is very simple people, very honest people, very nice people. But the politicians are different creatures.
What's going on there? What do you make of it? You have to deal with it.
I guess we're now watching BBC and say they are not yet agreeing on the budget, on the cutting and so on.
Do you just shake your head?
No, I don't want to be wrong with that, so I didn't move my head that way or the other way.
So, peace, friendship, stay out of other people's business?
Difficult to say stop of other people's businesses, because life has been created on problems, and you need someone to resolve these problems. And the United States is still in a position to do so, but we hope to be, fair and to be honest in doing so.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
Thank you for the education. Special thanks to the Embassy of the Sultanate of Oman in Washington. And in Oman, the Ministry of Information, the Public Authority for Radio and Television, Muscat Municipality, and extra special thanks to the Intercontinental Hotel in Muscat, Oman. For information about my new book, The Chance of a Lifetime, and online video for all This Is America programs, visit our website, thisisamerica.net. And now you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. This is America is brought to you by the National Education Association, the nation's largest advocate for children and public education. The Republic of Kazakhstan in the heart of Eurasia, a rich history, a culture of hospitality, and a future of development and growth. The U.S.-China Education Trust and the F.Y. Chang Foundation. The League of Arab States, representing 350 million people in 22 member countries. The Rotendaro Family Trust. The Embassy Series, uniting people through musical diplomacy, presenting international artists in diplomatic settings.